Well, good morning, y'all. How are you doing? So, today we have this gorgeous '03 Subaru Sti that my buddy graciously is letting me work on. What we got going on with it is so we have a little bit of a rattle in the rear, which here in a minute I will take you down there, show you what we're doing, and basically how we're going to fix this issue. We have a few things up in the front, nothing major, couple little small suspension component issues, but it's enough to make a video out of. So let's go ahead and take a look at her. Again, nice little gorgeous '03. We got some tasteful mods, nothing too major. Beautiful shape for the age. I mean, this car is actually really nice. And it's actually funny because I actually work with people, well, one person, that's not even as old as this car. So for the age of this car, I mean, she is just gorgeous. But let's go ahead and get you up under the rear and we'll take a look at what's going on. And then we'll also go over how to fix it and we'll start getting on it. So come along on that journey with me. Well, now that we're on my good side, get you down here and we're gonna take a look at what's actually going on. So let's get you flipped around. All right, so whenever it's running, we have a nice little rattle. So if you can see here, the exhaust is actually hitting on the rear cross member. Now, if you look at the exhaust mount, they are pulled forward. Every single one of them. Let's see where, if you look at the ones in the rear, they are pulled forward. So, my theory is that they put an aftermarket downpipe on this car off the turbo, but it wasn't a name brand downpipe. And basically what happened is it had the exhaust on the car. So the exhaust was already on the car, and you can see how far back this muffler's sitting. But whenever they put this downpipe on, which I will get you down there, so whenever they put this downpipe on, they had to move the exhaust forward because this piece was not quite long enough. So basically what it did was it put stress on these mounts and pulled everything forward. So what I'm gonna do is basically remove the exhaust. I'm gonna disconnect it from the downpipe and get my actual measurement that I need. And then from there, what I'll end up doing is actually cutting the exhaust and putting in a spliced section to lengthen the exhaust. And what it should do is take this piece here, because you have this curve right in here. I know, let me grab my come in here. So you have this curved section right here, and this section should come past this rear cross member section here. So lengthening it, I believe I'm going to have to lengthen it about 2.5 inches. But again, I want to unbolt it from the front and get it set back where it needs to be. And then once we figure out the actual measurement, we'll go ahead and take the front half, take this front section of the exhaust pipe, and then I will cut it, and then we will figure out the size of pipe we need and get it welded in, and that'll actually extend it and relieve the stress on those mounts, and also bring this pipe back where it needs to be, and that should get rid of our rattle. So I am going to go ahead and get started on that, and I will bring you back once I kind of get everything apart and figure out my measurements. I'm back. Okay, so just from unbolting, we'll go ahead and just kind of get this down where it needs to be. This will come up a little bit too here, but I want to kind of get it down where it's about even. We'll take a look at, so as you can see, we have, oh, that's backwards. Anyways, so dyslexic people might be able to read this a little better. We got, so between the 2 and the 4, so we have a 2-inch gap that we need to work on. So basically what I think I'm going to end up doing is just cutting right here. If I just cut it right here, get the right diameter pipe, and then I'll be able to weld in a 2-inch extension, and it should mate that right back up where it needs to be. And you know, I pulled this off and it didn't even have a gasket in it. So basically I'm gonna need to get a gasket. I'm gonna have to make sure that I get the right diameter pipe. But I want to show you. So as I was talking about before, tight spaces. Fat guy under a little car. Okay, some Tommy Boy references for y'all. So I just wanted to show you guys. So now you can see that this mount is sitting pretty even, straight down, and we will get down here. You guys like roller coasters? Because we're spinning around today. All right, but we'll get down here and I will show you. So just by loosening, it completely dropped that exhaust off of that rear mount. And you can see right here, this little divot. That was what was right up against this rear subframe, and it was rattling like bad. So, and I'll show you, we got, you know, the gasket here. Okay, or not the gasket, but the hanger. If I can get my camera, there we go. So now the hanger is straight up and down, and that's exactly what we're looking for. And so yeah, I gotta get the midsection off like I stated before, and then we will go ahead and get the chop saw out and do some cutty, and we'll get some measurements. And hopefully I have the right size pipe. I might have to go get the right size pipe, but if not, we'll at least have it cut. I'll be able to take the flange in and get the right gasket that we need as well, and get the right size pipe, and we can get that taken care of probably tomorrow. But while I was up under here, I saw this and I just thought it was funny because they wrote my buddy's name on the rear cross member. You know, I love you. Just messing with you, bud. But yeah, I'm gonna get that section off and we'll do some cutty and we'll take a look at it. So, getting that rear section apart was a little fun. Whoever put that together didn't use the right hardware. I might get some new hardware for the rear, but we'll see. But, so, what I got going on is, go figure, I couldn't find my blades for my chop saw. But, what I did find was my blade for my skill saw. So, what I'm gonna do, set that down. Got the pipe set up in the vise. Again, I'm gonna come right here and slice that right off. I should still get, you know, a pretty decent clean cut out of it, but not ideal. But if you do it right, you take your time, you do it slow, it'll work just fine. So go ahead and get this cut and I can get it measured. All right, y'all. So obviously I cut the piece of pipe. Now, the question is, did I have the right piece of pipe to go in there? Drum roll, please. We did. So, the pipe that I have is actually off of my red Trans Am. It actually, so it measured the same inner diameter, but the outer diameter was just a tad skosh smaller. But it'll still work. We'll be able to get that welded in. Basically what I'm going to have to do real quick, and I won't bore you with this part of it, but I'm going to have to get this section in, and then I'm going to have to get this section bolted back up, and then make sure that I have this in the correct position that I need, and then I will go ahead and throw a couple tack welds on there, and then we'll pull it out and we'll get to welding. Super exciting. So I'll bring you back when we're ready to weld this all up. So I forgot to hit the record button. But I did get the piece welded in. And she fits perfect. So everything lines up the way it needs to. Tomorrow I'm going to have to go down and get gaskets. Hopefully I can get gaskets. I might have to order gaskets, but hopefully they have the gaskets and then I don't have to worry about it. But so now that I got that taken care of, I'm going to move on to the small front suspension issue. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it and see what we can do there. Well, hello again. So, I figured out what I need to do down here. We're going to take off this subframe down here, and the bolt we're looking for is right in here, this little nut in here. I don't know if my buddy rounded it off or if it was previously rounded off, but let's just say it's going to be a little fun getting it off. But yeah, let me go ahead and get this subframe out and we will take a look at it. Alright, let's get you in here. So, as you can see, that little fella right there, pretty chewed up. So, what I think I'm going to try to do at first is just, if I can hammer a socket onto that spot there, get it to just kind of bite and bust loose, that'd be ideal. I do have extractor sockets for nuts. I just don't have them on me. So I'm hoping I could just hammer a socket onto that nut right there and be able to just get her popped loose. If I can get that off, that'd be perfect. I'll just go ahead and take that bar down because we need to get to this bushing right here in this stabilizer bar and get it replaced. Oh, sorry about the light. So yeah, that's basically all we're doing on the front suspension that I'm aware of. Probably putting the end links back on. So let me go ahead and get this light out of the way. So if you see here, that actually attaches where? Oh, right here. So they have an end link that goes from there to there, and that's what controls your side to side. That's what controls your side to side motion to plant your tires going around a corner. So when you go around a corner, that bar puts pressure on it and it plants that tire down. So that's why it's important to change your sway bar or stabilizer bushings. Some manufacturers call it different things. But yes, because that is what keeps your car stable and planted during a turn. So I'm going to try and find the right socket and see if I can hammer it on there and get that nut busted loose. Well guys, day 2. I have parts. So we got the new stabilizer bushing. I had to basically beg the owner to put these on. Oh, I don't need them. It's cool. We're already there. And we've got exhaust gasket material. Now, you might be wondering, why did I just not buy 3-inch exhaust gaskets? And the reason is because I just like to do stuff the hard way, and it's kind of interesting. So we're gonna get these marked out on here and get them cut out, and take you along for most of the process. But today should be fun. Should have this thing up and going here shortly. Get the gaskets done, get the front put back together, and should be out of my garage. So let's get to making a template. Well, howdy up there. So we got our gasket material. It's basically self-explanatory. We're gonna take this, We're going to set it down. Let me go ahead and move it to this corner so you can actually see it. Go ahead and mark out our flange size. Get her in here. Go ahead and mark out our little circles for the holes. And that gives us our basic shape. So basically what I'll end up doing is cutting this one out. I'll go ahead and make a pattern. I'll cut another one out. And then after I cut that one out, I will show you how I'm going to get the center section lined up so we can get that cut out, and then we'll have our gaskets. All right, so I went ahead and just cut both of these out. But as you can see, this is the original template, and I just traced it over, cut them out. So if you're doing these, you need metal shears. I have a bunch of different styles, different sizes. I just like using my little ones for little intricate corners going around everything. So, but now, if you're wondering, the exhaust isn't going to pass through this. I mean, it might eventually, but initially it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this flange, we're going to take grease. We're going to go ahead and smear the grease on this flange. Get her nice and goopy on there. And you can do this with like multiple different things. Basically, greasing is a pretty good way to making like inner templates, and it's nice because you can actually get it off. You typically only want to do it with metal. If you're doing it with paper, obviously the grease is going to ruin the paper, so you're not going to want to do it with that. But if you're doing like a rubber gasket or some sort of a steel gasket like we're using today, the grease will work just fine. So basically, you go ahead and hold this little girl up. So we're going to take it, and I'm just going to use the paper side of it, and we're going to line up these holes. Set that down there, and we'll just push around the edge of it. And if my calculations are correct, and acting like I've done this shit before, we should have a nice little circle to cut out. Thank you. Now, being that the flanges are different on both sides, obviously I can't just take another measurement of this flange. I'm going to have to flip it over, do the same thing on the other flange, and then I will bring you guys back in when I go to cut these, because it's been a minute and it's going to be kind of entertaining to watch me struggle with this. So I will get the other one set, and I will get you guys set up, and we'll just do a time lapse of me trying to figure out how to cut these out. All right, so I got both of my gaskets marked. Now, what I think I'm going to do, because all the right tools to do this are actually at work. But again, like I said, I like doing stuff the hard way, and you guys will see. So we're going to take this drill, and we're going to come in and we're going to drill a couple holes around this lip, and then we're going to come in with my little baby snips, and we'll just snip the rest of that hole right out, and you know, nothing can go wrong. So, time lapse time. All right, so as you can see, I got one cut out. It's almost perfect, just like me. So, as you can see, I'll get you up here. So it goes, man, line it up. Bam, perfect. So I am going to go ahead and get this other one cut out, and then hopefully all the hard part's going to be done, and we can start getting this thing back together. Well, I'm back in my dungeon. We'll come up here so you can kind of see what's going on. I need to change the angle of that light. The old angle of the dangle. Let's see. There we go. You guys kind of see what's going on now. So, basically, what I have here is the new sway bar bushing. I'm going to get this tossed on real quick. Toy it like a toiga. That's for my old peeps out there that know what I'm talking about. Let's see. We get that in. So we got our new, well, our old bracket. Let me get this thrown on here. And where is that nut? Let's see. Yeah, we got some technical difficulties. All right, technical difficulties over. Let's go ahead and get this in here. So it's a little on the not so thready side, so we're gonna have to make it thready. But you know, as my grandpappy always used to say, cross thread's better than Loctite, so you know. The only way to actually fix that is to completely cut. So let me get a little better angle here. So to completely cut this out, knock that out, throw a bolt in it. But yeah, we don't have the spare parts to do that at the moment. Yeah. Torque to spec. Get over here. We got this side now. Man, them bushings are nice. So we got them on. Now we'll get over to. Hey, get out of my way. Let's see. Now the reason I'm doing these instead of the exhaust first is because that is in my way. So I might as well get the front knocked out, and then we'll do a finale on the exhaust, and we will be good to go. You got to use that in the end of that hole, and then use that to tighten her up. All right, we got that in. That was fun. You know, little bit of persuasion goes a long way. You know what I mean? So now I need to get that subframe, not subframe, bolted back in here, and we will be done with the front. So we got the end links and the new bushings in that were needing to be done, and then we will get that exhaust done. And this quick job will be done. Done. All right, so since I'm down here, we will just go ahead and move on to the exhaust. I went ahead and preset it down here. We'll get it slapped together. Not real quick, because you guys know how I move, but it'll get on. All right, now that we got my nice glistening forehead all lit up, we'll go ahead and get this exhaust on. It's almost like reverse skydiving. You're just like, so we got her bolted up. Woo! So now all we got left to do, got a couple little final checks that I need to do, and then we'll get this girl fired up and see if our rattle is away. All right, I'll get you back as soon as I get out from under this car. It may take me a minute, you know. Well, it's definitely been a fun couple days. We did our final checks. Everything looks good. Went ahead and topped off some fluids and stuff on it. But let's go ahead and get a fire up. God, this thing sounds so good. I'm gonna be kind of sad to see her go, but you know, he needs to go drive it. He needs to go have some fun. So, we'll see you later.